So I should probably post this as a response to that original girl's video, but responding to you, Gary, would be much more fun. I gotta be honest. Um, I think asking this question, what is atheism? It's really, I love to ask that question because it's such a fertile ground for um, for philosophy. Philosophy still has a place in our society. It's in dealing with humankind's relationship with God, or the spiritual, or religion, or the transcendent, the unknown, the irrational side of life. Um, Although we have to be careful, though, when we characterize religion as irrational. That's kind of not entirely fair, because it was religion. It was, in the case of the Western tradition at least, it was Christianity which enforced this idea that nature was rational and that the mind of man was capable of understanding that rational order and even of expressing it in his own culture and civilization. Um, Secularity itself is really a product of the religious mind that sort of didn't realize what it was doing maybe along the way. Um, all of the first scientists were deeply religious, devout Catholics, and their science was an effort to reveal God's law, to reveal the rational order of the universe, which was only there because God existed and God created it. Otherwise, there would be no reason to pursue those ordered laws, to pursue knowledge. Knowledge was seen as God's gift to man, which in a sense sort of perverts the original story of Genesis in the Bible, where we see that knowledge is what threw man out of the Garden of Eden, and what sort of gave rise to this distinction between good and evil, such that man gained the power to decide for himself, you know, what's good and what's not. And that does seem to be the task of the atheist. He is the man who has eaten of the fruit of the tree and who must believe in God, or not believe in God, as the case may be. In the case of an atheist, not believe in God. But for the original, for Adam and Eve, the original human being, there was no need to believe. Christianity itself, in its purest form, the purest form of faith, is not a belief in some specific book or set of ideas contained within a book. It's an experience of God that can't be explained or written out or spoken about or rationalized about. I always saw faith as trusting in what can't be known, trusting that knowledge is not something that we can base our lives on, or base um, life at that existential level on. We cannot wait for a perfect understanding to act, because we're never going to have that perfect understanding. And if we continually seek it, we're just creating anxiety, which is just hampering our ability to act in a natural way. And Gary, you may disagree that nature is is good or worth becoming one with, or is worth paying attention to, in the sense that all that is harmonious and whole about us comes from the natural world. You may disagree with that. But I think that, I mean, I have a hard time understanding your position, Yuri, because while on the one hand you're definitely a nihilist, you seem to be sort of reluctant about it, or maybe you are sort of faking nihilism while, when you are in less nihilistic moods, you really try to compel people that there is this objective system of values that is intellectually valid, that you can understand and know rationally, that doesn't require any type of a belief in a particular value system. So you have a value system that you think is objective, yet at the same time, you're very nihilistic. You think that there is no meaning, there is no ultimate foundation for any of this, and at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense. But you see how I sense this conflict in your thought here, that yes, if we're going to be human beings, intelligent, good human beings, we have to follow this moral order, this law of compassion, and yet it means nothing to do so. There's no reason we ought to do it other than what? I mean, this is what I don't understand quite clearly about your thought.